So in order to help you better fill a space in your painting and create depth, we're gonna look at the painter Alex Katz, who's a 90-something-year-old painter, does these massive um, works of art that lately have been about nature. And it's kind of easy to paint nature and create depth in a scene and make you feel like you're about to walk through a forest if you paint a realistic tree. But what Katz does is he shows us in the paintings as they go on how little information we need to give to create this sense of space. So here we've gotten down just a few lines. I still feel like I could walk through this forest. Same here, this is even more abstract. It could be really anything happening, but it's very clearly to me as a viewer that it's a forest. Then what Katz started doing was removing all sorts of information. Here we just have bits of light really and one tree trunk. Here I don't even know really what we're seeing, except for that definitely has created a sense of sky, right? And here creates a sense that we're inside the forest looking out because of the way he used those warm colors. And that brings us to the section on warm colors. Again, the warm ones are red, orange, yellow, and the cool ones are blue, violet, and green. But why does that matter? How can we use that as a painter? If you look at these two circles, the red one warm and the blue one cool, you can see the red seems to come out of the image and the blue seems to go in. We can use that to our advantage because when you use color, temperature, warm or cool in that way, you can actually create form like this child drawing, because those warm colors are coming at you and then the cooler ones seem to go back, and that tricks your eyes into thinking that you've created this 3D space. Classic still lifes did it all the time. I mean, this is what Matisse was doing. Those warm nudes are jumping out of the cool blue and green. It's just like a tool to make it really pop and create depth. Again, these orange fish, the famous Matisse painting, again, we feel like we're in that depth, and that's because of this color temperature. Let's see how Katz does it. That very light blue background, cool, and then the warm pink pops out. Obviously, those warm leaves on top of the cool sky make them come towards us. This combination of warm and cool kind of really makes it flow. These warmer yellow than there are green pop. I mean, it's really, you'll notice it now all the time. Another thing Katz does is he overlaps shapes. Because when you're overlapping, you're traveling back in time because part of it is hidden because it's behind. So anytime you want to create space, you can overlap, and that kind of just tells the world there's something else going on there. And you can see that, in a lot of his abstract ones. That's a tool he uses along with color temperature, is kind of these overlaps. He also uses this variation in size. So obviously the things that are closest to us are larger and the things that are smaller are far behind. So that makes us think those flowers are traveling back. And then color temperature in its literally most basic form. Look at this Katz. Obviously we can tell it's a landscape. The land is the lighter green. And this view through the autumn leaves at the sky. I mean, how brilliant to have that red coming down and the blue far out. Tomorrow we'll think of Katz and a few other people who are doing cool things with helping our eye move back in space or to create a great composition, like Georgia O'Keeffe. I just saw these in Chicago. And she uses warm and cool to create distance, but she also then changes shape and the space between them as she moves back. So that's a great example of creating space and using shape and overlap. Atal Nan, she actually uses all of the rules about warm colors and cool colors and shape, and then breaks it, and somehow it always works for her. Color temperature in very interesting ways. I feel like if you flip that, you'd have a whole different painting. And how she creates this motion. Obviously we know those brighter things the hotter things are in the front. Klee with his slightly cool background, slightly warm foreground. He was always adding these shapes and altering their size and doing patterns. Sophie Taber-Arp, look at the motion in this. For a flat piece, you feel like it's kind of a wave moving through a textile or something. That's because of the way she laid out the warm and the cool colors, actually, because that one has no size difference. This one is size and is shape and color. And this one too, look at the way she contracted those shapes to get a sense of motion. And look at how that red just flies out. So tomorrow we're gonna try and make a Katz, and I think we'll actually make two Katzes. So see you tomorrow, bye.